Your English is probably better than you think. Seriously. The problem is not always vocabulary, not always grammar. Sometimes the problem is much simpler. You don't know how to explain a problem, and that becomes a problem. Let me show you what I mean. Imagine you're in a hotel. You walk into your room, you're tired, you want a shower, maybe a nap, maybe both. You turn on the air conditioner, nothing. You press the button again, nothing. You stare at it. It stares back. Now what? This is where many English learners panic. Not because the situation is difficult, because they think they need perfect English. But you don't. You only need a few useful sentences. For example, the air conditioner isn't working. Done. Problem explained. Hotel saved. Vacation continues. Now let's try another one. Imagine you're in a restaurant. Your food arrives. Everything looks amazing. You take one bite, then another. Then suddenly, something feels wrong. Maybe the food is cold. Maybe very cold. Maybe it feels like the chicken finished cooking sometime last week. You don't need a fancy speech. Just say, "Sorry, my food is cold." That's it. Simple English works. Actually, simple English works surprisingly often. Sometimes learners create giant sentences because they are nervous. Something like, "Excuse me, I would like to inform you that the temperature of my meal appears to be lower than expected." My friend, you're not writing a scientific report. Just say, "My food is cold. Mission accomplished." Now I have a question for you. What would you say if your phone stopped working? Think for a second. Maybe, "My phone isn't working." Perfect, simple, useful. This is real English. And here's something funny. Native speakers do this all the time. When there's a problem, people usually use short sentences, not long ones. Imagine your car breaks down. Nobody jumps out and says, "Unfortunately, the transportation mechanism has experienced technical difficulties." No. People say, "My car won't start." That's real life. Now let's imagine another situation. You're in a cafe. You order coffee. You wait, and wait, and wait. At this point, you have become part of the furniture. Your coffee still hasn't arrived. What can you say? Simple. "Excuse me, I think there's a problem with my order." Beautiful sentence, very useful. You can use it almost anywhere. Restaurant, hotel, airport, store, even life in general. "I think there's a problem." English learners should put that sentence in a golden frame. Now let's make things slightly more dramatic. Imagine you're at the airport. Your suitcase is missing. Everybody's luggage arrives, not yours. The luggage belt keeps moving. Your suitcase apparently decided to start a new life somewhere else. What do you say? You walk to an employee and say, "Excuse me, I can't find my luggage." That's enough. Notice the pattern? You don't need complicated English. You need clear English. Clear beats perfect, every time. Now here's a mistake many learners make. They apologize too much. The conversation sounds like this. "Sorry, sorry, 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 sorry." Meanwhile, nobody knows what the actual problem is. First explain, then apologize if necessary. For example, "Sorry, I can't find my luggage." Perfect. The person immediately understands. Now let's talk about one of the most useful phrases in English. Ready? "There seems to be a problem." That's it. Small sentence, big power. Examples. "There seems to be a problem with the Wi-Fi." "There seems to be a problem with my room." "There seems to be a problem with my bill." "There seems to be a problem with the order." Very useful, very polite, very adult. You instantly sound calm even if your brain is screaming. Now let's play a quick game. I'll give you a situation. You tell yourself the sentence, ready? Your hotel room key doesn't work. You can say, my key card isn't working. Easy. Next. The shower doesn't have hot water. You can say, there isn't any hot water. Nice. Next. Your laptop won't turn on. You can say, my laptop won't start. Excellent. See? Real English is often much shorter than people expect. Now here's another secret. When you explain a problem, don't tell the whole history of the universe. People only need the important part. Imagine somebody asks, what's wrong? And you answer, well, 3 weeks ago my cousin told me. No, start with the problem, always. My phone isn't working. The room is too noisy. My order is wrong. Simple, fast, effective. And honestly, people appreciate that. Now let's do a small story. You're staying in a hotel. Everything seems fine. Then you notice the Wi-Fi isn't working. You try again. Nothing. You restart your phone. Still nothing. You stare at the screen. The screen remains confident. So you go downstairs. The receptionist smiles and asks, how can I help you? You say, there seems to be a problem with the Wi-Fi. The receptionist checks. A minute later, they fix it. Done. No stress, no panic, no advanced grammar. Just simple English. By the way, if you enjoy learning practical English through real-life situations like hotels, airports, restaurants, and everyday problems, you can also check out my Patreon. There's a full course there designed to help you understand and speak English more naturally. The link is below if you'd like to take a look. Now I want you to remember something important. The goal of English is not to sound like a dictionary. The goal is communication. If something goes wrong, you don't need perfect English. You only need useful English. The food is cold. My phone isn't working. I can't find my luggage. There seems to be a problem. These simple sentences can solve a surprising number of problems. And honestly, if you can explain a problem clearly in English, you're already doing better than many native speakers when their Wi-Fi stops working.